We begin this bulletin with news coming in about Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's funeral ceremony. It seems there will be a 3-day funeral ceremony that will be organized very soon for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed by the US and Israeli forces by a precision strike at the presidential complex. Now, Khamenei's farewell ceremony is to begin tonight. Around midnight, it is expected to begin, and the funeral procession will be there after a farewell ceremony. Remember, he has been a leader for many years, decades of Iran, and he has a huge following. So it is expected to be a huge funeral procession as well as a big ceremony. Iranians will be bidding farewell to their supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, starting from 12 tonight, which is midnight, India Standard Time. Joining us right now is India Today Global's Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, one can expect a huge send-off. Do tell us about the man who ruled with an iron fist and shaped Iran for many decades. So what is expected at his funeral?
This is a larger message. This is not only a funeral of a leader like Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was the supreme leader of Iran, but this is also a revered, a religious figure for the Shia population, which is spread across the world. So Iran will try and turn this funeral into a political, religious event as well, to give out the message that how the larger sentiments of the Islamic population, and especially the Shias, is hurt with the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and in fact who's responsible for that. And that's why the 3-day funeral will be done. And I think as per the Iranian media reports, he will be buried in Mashhad, the city of Iran. And in fact, Iran in these turbulent times, at a time when the Israeli and the American forces are carrying out these airstrikes, they have decided to organize and send out the message that for the Islamic regime, for the Islamic government of Republic of Iran, it is like their utmost duty. In fact, they want to perform and accord the final farewell to their supreme leader. And in fact, the cities of Iran are swelling with these public supports and the demonstration, the rallies. And in fact, the Iranian government is also, believed to be behind these protests, and asking people to come out on street and express their solidarity, their anger with these airstrikes, against these airstrikes. So clearly, this is an event to send out the larger message around the world that how outraged people of Iran are, how they are standing firm against the American operation and Israeli operation, and how they have will to fight, they have will to resist against these aggressions.
Right, Pranay, also as you are rightly pointing out, it seems to be a message, but we have seen US and Israel continuously asking the people of Iran to rise up and change the regime and take control of the government. At a time like this, maybe this would be an attempt from the Iranian regime to try and sort of consolidate the power and also try and consolidate the sentiments of the people.
Obviously, Anjali, Iranian government, especially the Islamic regime of Iran, will try their best to, to show their deep entrenchment into the Iranian society, and also by swelling the streets of Iran, that gives them a human shield as well, because it will be difficult for the American forces or the Israeli forces to bomb the cities or the streets of Iran at a time when large number of population is on street. But besides that, as far as their will to fight, or you asked about their how they are putting up this fight. I think the larger message which Iran want to send out is that they have a will to fight. They are resisting the American and the Israeli aggression, and in fact, the American and the Israeli forces have already expressed their intent that they are out to decimate the Islamic regime. But the larger issue, which President Donald Trump referred, or Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu referred, and asking people of Iran to stand up, I think we have to make this distinction. that the people of Iran, it's a 90 million people of Iran. This is not a monolithic structure. Iran is also a very heterogeneous society where there are different regional identities are there. There are Kurds, there are Azaris, there are Persians,
Right.
there are Baluchis. So in fact, who's going to replace, even if that the President Donald Trump's or Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's idea is to destabilize and dethrone the Islamic regime and let the people of Iran come out on street and take over the government of Iran. So this is a very fluid idea right now. And in fact,
Absolutely.
President Donald Trump was asked this
Right.
question yesterday, and he could not give a clear answer that whom, in his opinion,
Right.
who's the natural successor
Right,
in Iran.
Pranay, do stay on with us as Mayan Hoffman also joins us from Israel in Jerusalem. Mayan, this public announcement that has been made by Iran about the funeral, and a grand funeral that is expected to be, because there'll be a procession, there'll be a ceremony. So that is quite in open. It is public. How do you think Israel and America will react to something like this?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch and to see. Now, I think that you can say that America and Israel have been working not to kill civilians. They've actually, as you recall, sent messages in Persian out to civilians asking them to stay inside or to take cover in areas where they were going to be targeting. So because there will be a gathering of quite a number of civilians, I would not assume that you're going to see any strikes necessarily on the large funeral procession. Although, as you know, they've been calling on the Iranian people to come out to the streets and to protest the regime. So certainly, there might be some calls to not go to the funeral or to protest against the funeral as opposed to going out and supporting it. But I wouldn't assume that you're going to see any strikes on civilians at the procession. What I do think is that, you heard Defense Minister Israel Katz just minutes ago, really within the last hour, he made an announcement that while they're looking to, put in the second son of Khamenei into the role of supreme leader, he announced that if they do that he will also be assassinated and that Israel will continue to take the action needed to bring about regime change. So I think that is more of the risk that we're looking at in Iran, that they're going to be looking at more and more of the upper echelon, some of these leaders that are still able to be in control from the IRGC, from the Basij, from the for the Iranian regime, that those are the people that Israel and the United States are targeting. I would not expect to see any backlash against civilians by Israel.
All right. But Mayan, it does seem like with this kind of a public announcement and this grand ceremony, Iran will try to send out some sort of a geopolitical message. And many countries, when there is a proper, formal, official funeral, many countries will have to come out either with a message or try and choose sides. This will become a complex situation for that region, won't it?
Yes, and it's already becoming complex. I mean, first of all, because Iran has gone kamikaze and attacked all of the U.S. installments in so many countries in the region, those countries are banding together, if you recall, in condemning Iran and condemning the attacks. So I don't assume that with whatever message that Iran puts out, that the countries that have been targeted are going to, in some way, respond other than how they already have, which is to continue to condemn Iran for its actions in the region. When you talk about China and Russia, you're talking about something slightly different. There may be other countries that do, in fact, come out and share messages of support as China has, and this could really depend on what kind of announcement Iran makes today. They're certainly going to use the funeral as an opportunity to show that even without Khamenei in place, that the regime has support by the Iranian people, and to try to prove to the world that the U.S. and Israel are trying to bring about a regime change that is not warranted by or wanted by the people. But we do know that it's not been in just the last few months, but actually in the last multiple years, that the Iranian people have been calling out against the regime and begging for freedom. And so I think, again, the Trump and Netanyahu, America and the U.S. have been asking the people to stay inside and stay safe, but there will be a right time for them to take to the streets and to topple the regime. And as we heard again, Defense Minister Katz say this morning, the goal is twofold: regime change and, of course, stopping the ballistic and nuclear weapons arsenals from being able to be used against Israel and in the region. And the goal is to be able to succeed at that, whether that takes a few days or a few more weeks. That is still to be seen, but definitely that is still the goal, at least here in Israel.
Right, Mayan, do stay on with us as we tell our viewers how the succession plan is also unfolding, and we will be coming back to you. So Ayatollah Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, has been elected Iran's new supreme leader. Iranian media has reported that Mujtaba was selected as Iran's new supreme leader by the country's assembly of experts. According to the reports, Mujtaba has been chosen to assume control of the country. He is the second eldest son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and has long been seen by observers as a potential successor. His reported elevation could prove politically sensitive and comes just days after his father was killed in a wave of joint US-Israeli strikes, which have since triggered an all-out armed conflict in the Middle East. Iranian media further claimed that Iran's slain supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, will be buried in Mashhad tonight at midnight, and it will be a 3-day ceremony which will start tonight. So that we know for sure. And going back to, and we'll quickly try and understand what exactly is the family tree of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Well, as we just told you about the son, there are other members of the family. So there on your screens is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and his wife, who was also reported to have died and succumbed to her injuries. They were married in 1964. Now, she's known for living a very private and conservative life, and she rarely appeared in public or media. Then come the sons. Mujtaba Khamenei, who's been announced as the leader now, the most politically influential son, a cleric who studied in Qom, often rumored to have strong influence inside the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC, and Iran's political system. Some analysts believe, and it has been proven now, that he is the successor to his father. Mustafa Khamenei, also a cleric, that is the other son. He keeps a low public profile. He is involved mainly in religious studies. Then Masood Khamenei, known to be involved in media and cultural institutions linked to the Iranian establishment. Then Maisam Khamenei, the least visible among the sons, works within religious and cultural circles. There is also a daughter, Bushra Khamenei, married to Mohammad Javed, a cleric linked to the Supreme Leader's office, maintains a very, very private life.